Hello and welcome back to episode 2 of KrakenMC Survival School. We are here at our little spot, and today, isn't this just a beautiful area? My goodness. Wow. Yeah. Today, we are going to build our starter house. So, what we are going to get started on here is we want to get some trees. We're going to need some logs. We're going to need some stone, and we need to upgrade our tools to stone as well. So I think to kick start this, we're going to come over to a tree and we're going to chop it down. This is an oak tree. Okay. So, we briefly saw oak and birch, different trees and things like that. We're going to let those leaves despawn and hopefully we'll get some saplings to fall here. But I'm also going to go cut this one down as well. And I didn't even know we had a nice, very deep pond with a wow, look at this. This is called a ravine. Wow. Okay. Oh. Hello? Wow. Okay. Well, I didn't know that we had this here. And yep, there we go. I just want to come over here and get this tree, which I gotta come all the way down here so I don't fall in that ravine. That would be embarrassing. But yeah, we are going to build a little starter house. It's not going to be anything fancy, but I can at least show you, the basics of building a starter house. And, also just kind of, how to make your builds look a little better, right? Because you easily could just make a boxy house out in the middle of nowhere, a dirt house, or something like that. But what we would like to do is we would like to have it look at least a little decent. So I'll show you a couple of tips and tricks. And the biggest way to really make your builds look better is going to be depth. And we will talk about that here in a second. So let me just grab a little bit of materials here. This is birch. And there goes my pickaxe. Nice. Okay. Well, yeah, let me go back and get a crafting table because I don't want to waste the logs that we have. So, yeah, let me just grab a little bit of this, these resources, the trees and oak and all that stuff. We'll get some saplings. We'll replant them. We're also going to plant these spruce saplings. Here we go. There we go. We got oak saplings. Perfect. And we're just going to kind of randomly dot these around so that they'll grow and we can continue to get their saplings. All right, give me just a couple of seconds here. Okay, and I didn't even show you these oak saplings. When you pick them up to replant them, you just right click onto the ground, any grass or dirt block or anything like that. You don't have to worry about water or anything. They will just randomly grow, and it's completely random on how quick they grow. But yeah, all right, I made an axe. I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna grab a little bit more birch. And yeah, we're just gonna have a good old time here. Okay, real quick, I wanted to show you this. So we did go and get some birch. So we've got birch planted right here. With spruce, you can do one of two things. You can plant just a single tree like those, or you can plant a 2x2. Okay, and what this will do is it will actually grow into a thicker and much taller tree, and it's a way to get a lot of great spruce out of that, only with a couple of trees. The one thing, and I'll show you when it grows, it will turn this grass into what's called podzol. The sun is going down. Let's go sleep. Okay, now what I think we need to do is we need to get some stone. So I'm going to come over here to where all of this stuff is happening. Okay, here we go. Stone Age advancement. We got our first stone of this world, which is awesome. Okay, let me just grab a little bit of this. Okay, so now that we have some stone, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go back to this crafting table, and there's a couple of things. You can now craft a furnace. Okay, it is stone, in a circular pattern, right? We can easily do that. Now, we actually grabbed a lot furnaces. We're just going to put these down here for now. We're also going to throw down our smoker and our blast furnace. And once we get coal, more coal, we only have 3 pieces right now. Once we get more, then we'll kind of, you know, go through all this. And there's a spruce tree that grew. Look at that. Hello? What? Why are you in my business? Yeah, as you can see, this spruce tree, it is a 4x4 solid all the way to the top. It will give you a lot of trees, logs, planks, all that fun stuff. So now that we have some cobblestone, though, as you can see, we have more things unlocked. We have stone tools, right? So we're going to grab a stone axe and a stone pickaxe, and you get another advancement, getting an upgrade. We're going to go ahead and keep these as keepsakes, our first tools, our wooden tools of the game, right? All right, so now what I want to do is I want a shovel as well, because I'm thinking that I want to build the starter base right here, okay? And I want a nice level area, right? It's going to make it a lot easier to have kind of a level ground to build on. And this is called terraforming or landscaping, okay? A lot of people get very, very scared at doing landscaping. The biggest thing is kind of play around with it, right? You get to know things a little better. Man, did all 3 of those grow already? Wow. I mean, not one of the birch or oak trees grew, but all of the 2x2s grew. That's kind of crazy. Anyways, a lot of people get, you know, kind of nervous, if you will, about landscaping. You know, the biggest thing is kind of, you got to kind of practice with it and just kind of take a look at the landscaping around, right? There's not really any, you know, serious flat edges or anything like that. It's just kind of randomized a little. And that's really all you need to do with landscaping in Minecraft. I am nowhere near an expert, by the way. Nowhere near. But you just kind of play around with it, see what works. And we just got a flower. So a dandelion. So there's several things you can do with that. With flowers, you can get dyes to color things like wool, or, you know, your beds. Glass is another thing that you can use. You can color your bundles. There's a whole bunch of things you can actually color in this game. Okay, just grabbing a little bit more dirt here. One other thing that I guess I should mention, with a dandelion, right? There's all kinds of flowers, but these little yellow ones, these are dandelions. Yeah, there is a new thing in Minecraft now where if you surround a dandelion with gold nuggets, yeah, you can actually transform, well, not transform, but take like a baby mob and keep it a baby. Yeah, that's one of the new updates. Kind of different. I've actually never done that. It's something I need to do. Because, you know, some of these baby mobs, they are just so adorable. And it'd be really nice to just keep them in this world as a baby. But yeah, okay. I think we got a little bit of an area here. I'm going to cut this back just a little bit. Make this a little more natural looking. And there goes our shovel. Stone tools will last longer than wooden tools, but they still don't last that long. As far as official length of how long tools will last, wooden tools last the least amount of time. And then I'm not exactly sure what's next. I would assume gold tools are next. Golden tools they're great, but they don't last, right? After that, you've got copper, you've got iron, and then you've got diamond. And then, of course, netherite. Here's another flower. That is a cornflower. Blue. You can get blue dye with that. All right, so we got a nice little area here. what I'm thinking we're going to do is we are going to just kind of get an idea as to what we're going to do here. Like I said, this isn't going to be very big, but let me just kind of give you a little tip here. If you build a house, and it doesn't matter what, block it is, right? It could be wood, it could be stone, anything like that. If you just literally build a house like this, and then bring it in, and I'm not going to do the whole thing, but you put windows, you put doors and everything like that, you'll be safe, absolutely, but it's going to look like a box in the middle of a field, right? And that's not exactly what we're wanting, right? We want to make this look a little more natural, right? If you look at those houses over there, they're not super flat. Some of them are, but they're not super flat. The more depth and detail you get into your house, the better it's going to look, okay? So what we're going to do, and I like to use spruce, okay? So we are going to chop all of that down here in just a second. But instead of building, just have this here and this here and go up, what I like to do is instead of that, put one here and here, okay? I think that that gives it more depth and more support looking, okay? So we can't go up too much. In fact, that's all we can go up right now, but it's going to add a lot of depth. And then here, we're going to have walls, stuff like that. So, you've got this sticking out. There's depth there, right? So let me go ahead, sleep and cut these down here. I'm going to need a couple of these axes, actually. This is going to take quite a bit to chop all that down. But, yeah, let me sleep. Let me cut all that down. Hey, look, here's all our oak trees growing. Nice. And then we'll get back to building our base. Okay, slept. And here's that podzol I was talking about. It changes the grass to podzol. You have to have soak touch in order to pick this up. If you just break it with anything else other than soak touch, it just turns to dirt. Okay. And then the easiest way to cut these down is literally just stairway up. That's going to be the easiest way to cut these. And then you can just cut it back down all the way down. So yeah, let me go ahead and do this, because like I said, this is gonna take a while. I don't want to keep you guys here forever. Okay, we have plenty of spruce now. Yeah, so we're gonna replant. I need one more, and there it is. There we go. Okay. So now we're going to get back to this. Yeah, I used 2 full axes, by the way, to chop all of that spruce down. So it takes a while. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this over to the next one. The way that I do it, now I have my controls a little different. So when I was talking about getting out of the boat and you have to hit, I said control. Default is shift to crouch. I have mine different. So default would be you crouch by hitting shift, and then when you get to the edge of a block, you stay on it as long as you are holding shift. Okay. Now, like I said, I'm holding control, and the main reason that I do that is because every other game, the shift button is sprint. So that's, that's what I'm used to. That's what I do. I invert the controls there. That way I can do that. But yeah, that's just that little thing. Okay. So now we're going to keep building these up. We're going to hit shift to pillar over to this and do the same right here. And we'll do this one more time. And now, instead of just a, standard box, you have an actual depth build here. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do here is create a doorway and windows. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here. And I actually think, yeah, I think I'm going to make a doorway right here. Yeah, we're going to do this, oops, wrong thing. There we go. And then we'll bring this over here. Perfect. Now, something else you can do is all of these are spruce logs, right? You can see it says it right there above the level and the hearts and all that. It says spruce log. What you can do actually with this is you can strip the bark off of this. And the way you do that is with an axe, you right click on the block. So that is actually what I'm going to do, is I'm going to go through, I'm going to strip all of these. You don't have to. It's your preference completely how you want your build to look. I prefer strip logs. I think they just look a little better, in my opinion. Okay. Now, I know you guys wouldn't, but I know that I didn't strip these ones right here. And I'm going to do it because the perfectionist in me gets really upset at things like that not being done. So, let's sleep one more time. And actually, I'm going to grab any strangler saplings and sticks and logs and stuff like that that may have fallen. Okay, so now that we have this, right, we could easily just, put in some glass for windows and be done. But here's what I'm thinking, okay? We don't have a lot of stone, but we need more stone, right? I'm thinking we put a layer of cobblestone along the top. Maybe not there. Yeah, I think I do want it there. Okay, we need more stone. So I'm actually just going to dig down right here, I think, until I get the stone. And you'll see the first several layers are going to be stone, and then, or dirt, and then you're going to have stone. This is actually a different stone. This is called andesite. Andesite actually can give you a different texture that looks very similar to stone as well. So I'm just going to dig a stairway down here just a little bit, grabbing a little bit of the stone and stuff. Okay, now for the floor, I'm actually going to dig this out. I'm going to make this a little different than just a plain grass floor. Okay, I'm going to do what a lot of people do for floors, and it's called a checkerboard pattern. And I'll show you exactly what I mean. And I'm going to do that with birch logs. Now, birch logs get a lot of hate. And for good reason, to be honest, because that right there looks horrible. It really, really does. But if we do this, and what we're doing is we're putting those three this way and these two this way, okay? And then we're going to reverse the effect. Okay. Definitely don't have enough birch logs. That's okay. Let me go and chop this tree down, and then we'll keep going. Okay. So obviously, this looks horrible, right? But if you do this, it looks a lot better. Okay, and now that we've stripped it all, you can see, you've got the pixels going this way on this way on this. It creates a checkerboard pattern, and I think that right there is a very good looking floor in Minecraft. Okay, Next, what we want to do is we want to put windows in here. So what we're going to need to do is we need glass. To make glass, we need sand. So there's a little bit of sand right here. I'm going to take it. Whoa. Not a lot of sand here. It's more sandstone than anything, but that's all right. Let's get all this. And we'll hop up here. Put this last little couple of pieces. There we go. Alrighty. Alright, now what we're going to do is we need a fuel source to cook this sand up. Okay? We can easily use coal, which we're going to do. Okay? And that will cook up this sand into glass, just like that. Another thing that you can do is early game, obviously, you know, coal is not very readily available. So we're going to take these logs, we're going to turn them into planks, and what we're going to do is we're going to put these planks in here as the fuel source to these logs, because we have plenty of spruce, and we're going to cook these logs into charcoal, and that is going to be our primary fuel until we can get more regular coal. Okay, so let this cook up a little bit, and then we're going to go ahead, pop our windows in, get a quick roof on, and then I'll show you a little bit of detailing on the build and stuff like that. And then that is going to be our starter base right here early in this world. Okay, once you have the glass, if you do 3 and 3, so 6 total glass, you actually will come out with 16 glass panes. Now, glass panes, you can dye them any color you want. I'm going to keep them clear for now, and we're just going to pop these in. And the reason that I like glass panes is, yet again, it adds depth. You can see it just sits in the middle. So when you come out here and you look, there's more depth to the build. That is not your house. We eventually will build you a house. I'm sorry. Not yours right now. Okay, now I took some of that charcoal out, and what we're going to do, as you can see, when you have charcoal or coal, torches show up. And we are going to need torches to light things up, because as long as things are above a light level 0, mobs will not spawn. Okay, so let's get a little bit more stone, and obviously now that we have torches, we'll be lighting things up as we go. But yeah, I'm just going to keep doing this stairway down, because that's kind of killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Eventually we're going to want to go down to the depths and all of that. So yeah, let me just dig out a little bit here, and we'll meet back up. All right, now what we're going to do is, if we put 3 blocks, it can be planks or any kind of stones or anything like that, you will come up with slabs. So we are actually going to make several slabs. That is not enough, but it'll get us started at least. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come off just like this, make a little bit of a surrounding edge here for our roof. And now I made a whole bunch of spruce slabs that I want to continue this roof pattern with. And I'm going to do basically this edge. And then to go up one, we're just going to do this. And then, so we don't have this thing hanging down unevenly, we're going to break it and come back and just build it up. Now, like I said, this is going to be a very, very simple day 1 design. We will get into bigger and bigger builds and things like that that are just going to look a lot better eventually. Right? We're not there yet. This is just our day 1 starter house. Right? So that is it. Now, when you look at that, it doesn't look like anything fancy, right? But what's going to happen is we are going to do more detailing. But for now, we can go ahead, we can move our bed in here. And we'll reset our spawn. We're going to make a couple of doors, which we're going to make them out of spruce because that's, you know, what we have in plenty. And doors are just like the slabs, but this way. If you do them this way, you'll actually get doors. Now, here's a trick, okay? Wherever you're wanting to place it, if you're looking at that side, the back side of this block, it'll place it there. If you're looking at the front side, it'll place it there, you see? And then if we look at the back side, it'll place it, well, still there, right? If you turn around and you put it like that, then it's on the back side of the block, okay? What we're going to do, and this is a big tip for you, is mobs can break that door down. Zombies in particular. They think this door's closed, I can break it down, and I'm going to break it down and get in here to kill whatever's in here. If you stand off to the side like this and put it down there, you see how it put it over here? This is now in the closed position. That, it looks the exact same like we did before, right? But that is technically the open position. So zombies cannot break that door down. What they'll do is they'll just stand right here. That's it. They will not be able to break that door down. So we're going to do that for this one as well. And there we go. Now we are perfectly safe. Nothing can get to us. Okay. We're going to do a little bit more rounding of the edges in here. Just to kind of make that look a little better. Okay. I'm actually thinking I'm probably going to do stairs up there. Maybe. I think so. But yeah. That is basically it. Now, there's other things that I'm going to end up doing. When we, you know, have these planks and everything, if you start looking, not only are there slabs, there's also stairs, and there's so many other things, including fences. We're going to make some fences here. And what we're going to do is we're just going to put a few of these around. And by just randomly putting these here kind of around the bottom, it kind of looks like more support, but also it just adds so much more to the build. Now, your roof is another thing that will add a lot to this. So what I think I'm going to do is the next episode, I'm going to show you if we do like a higher roof, or maybe we'll just do that on the next build. We'll do a higher roof. It'll actually make this look even better. Okay. I think one more thing that I want to do, let's make a few stairs. There we go. For a nice little entrance. And the way that I did that, I'll just show you again. If you put a stair, okay, looks just like a regular stair, but if you want it to end and round off like this one, where, you know, that half is gone, you come over to the side, put it there, and you've got that. You come over to this side, you put it there, and you got that. See? It looks nice. Now, that is a nice little entrance. And what you can do is you can add some lighting to make it look a little better, right? We'll add a few torches on there so that it's kind of lit up. We'll go ahead, we'll add torches all the way around. And eventually what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to get lanterns, because lanterns look really, really good. So now what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to move all my stuff into our starter house. And yeah, we'll be good to go. Nice and safe. Okay. Everything is in our house and it's raining. Ugh. Gotta love the rain. But here we go. We've just got a little bit of stuff in here. We got our bed. We got all of our, you know, storage and everything, including some barrels that we picked up. We got our grindstone. We got furnaces. We got all kinds of things that are ready to be populated and start showing you guys how to do this stuff. So I think that is going to do it for this episode. There is just our very base standard starter base. Obviously, we are going to build things that look a lot better than just this. But at least it's not just a dirt hut, right? But we are really, really going to be building a lot more things to this thing. Yeah, on this world, it is going to be a lot of good builds and stuff like that. But thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the comments, the views, the subscriptions. If you are really interested in this series and you want to see more, please drop a comment down there. Let me know that you're enjoying this and you want to see more, to where we move on to more things. Like next episode is going to be about crops and farm animals. That's right. And it's getting dark. Oh my goodness. Okay. Yep. We have no armor, so we're going to go to sleep. But anyways, thank you so much, everybody. And, oh, okay. We took too long to sleep. Well, we're going to keep those guys there for the next day. Those are creepers. So, yeah, I'm going to go in here. There we go. Anyways, thank you so much. Have an absolutely fantastic day, and we will see you in the next one. See ya.